parent wants to know how to help my autistic child be calm. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I've worked with autistic children. I was a treatment foster parent for a lot of years and had autistic children in my home. I've also parented my own 4 children as well as many other children over the years. And in this video, we are going to be talking about calmness and autism. In this video, we're going to be talking about why some autistic children have a hard time understanding calm and steps that you can take to help your autistic child understand calm and take control of themselves. To be fair, it isn't just autistic children that don't fully understand calmness. Every single person has to come to a place where they truly understand calmness. There are many parents who will come to me and say, I don't know how to get myself calm. I don't know when I'm not calm. In fact, I recently had an interaction with a parent as she was working with her children who started escalating her voice tone, getting more animated in her body. And I had to say, hey, check your voice and check your body. And all of a sudden she was like, oh, she said, I had no idea I was doing that. She said, I think it is just a habit that I speak in an animated way. In fact, she told me, she said, you know, my parent was always so animated. I think it's just programmed in me and I don't know. So here's the thing. We all develop habits. Autistic children are no different. Everyone develops habits for how they process, but when an autistic child finds a procedure that they feel like was useful or that they liked the feeling of, then sometimes they turn that into a habit more quickly and even root it more deeply than some other people might do. So they can develop a habit of not being calm, which can then make it much more difficult to understand what calmness really feels like and is. If you're not around a calm person, it is hard. And calmness is something that no matter if a person is autistic or not, should be part of a deliberate conversation. Helping children understand their feelings is always important. So when a person is experiencing some sort of feeling like anxiousness or stress, you might want to say, right now, it looks like you're feeling stressed. That is not calm, right? Just so that they are recognizing this is not calm. And then when you recognize that they are feeling calm, they're relaxed, they're able to communicate, you might want to say, I just want you to know right now you feel very calm. Can you feel what that feels like when you're calm? This type of demonstration, explanation, teaching is very useful for all people, especially children who have not done as much self-analysis as adults have done, but especially for autistic children who struggle to understand calmness. This type of demonstration explanation is going to be very productive. So we're going to talk about steps for helping your autistic child understand calmness and get more towards self-regulation. But first, is this an interesting channel for you? I hope it's useful. If so, click subscribe and then you'll see more videos from this channel in your feed. Let's talk about the steps for teaching an autistic child, or quite frankly, any child, calmness. Number 1, I've been talking about. What does calmness actually feel like? What is calmness and what is it not? That's an important thing to understand. Point it out to the children. When you see some people being calm and other people not being calm, point it out. Talk about what it feels like so that they can have a point of reference for their own calmness. Many times autistic children struggle with self-evaluation. They will start feeling stressed and act out, or anxious and act out, or angry and act out. But the step where they turn around and look back at what's going on, that deliberate reflection step, is not as natural for autistic children. And so you have to teach them how to do that. The next step you'll want to take is you'll want to actually practice skills for calmness. So there are 4 basic skills of self-government, and all of them have a step in the skill that says have a calm face, voice, and body. No matter the age of your autistic child, the skills that are taught in these books can help. These books teach skills like accepting no answers, accepting consequences, disagreeing appropriately, and following instructions. These skills in these books take care of 99% of behavioral problems, even with autistic people. So each one of these skills has a skill set attached to it. So what that means is there are certain steps. So part of step 2 is to teach the steps to these 4 skills. If your child is too old for these books, you can still find the steps to these skills in my TSG parenting course or in the book Parenting a House United. So let's talk about just one of those 4 basic skills. Let's talk about following instructions. That is the most basic of all of the 4 basic skills. If a child will not follow instructions from parents, the parents actually can't do any parenting. So we have to get to that place of following instructions as a baseline before any instruction or parenting can happen about any issue. This is how a person follows instructions. They look at the person with a calm face, voice, and body. They say okay or ask to disagree appropriately, which is one of our other 4 basic skills. Then they do the task immediately and then check back. I know the check back step can be especially difficult for autistic children, but it is possible to learn the step, especially as they are practicing focusing on one of those steps in the skill at a time. The check back step is a great step because this is the time where the child gets praised, so they learn cause and effect. A person cannot learn self-government without getting the opportunity of learning cause and effect. The next step is to teach how you will correct the skills to the child. So every child needs to know what mom and dad will say when things need to be corrected. This is an important thing for decreasing anxiety. Autistic children oftentimes have higher levels of anxiety, but if they know what you're going to say before you say it, that actually helps decrease the levels of anxiety for them. So learn how to do a proper corrective teaching and then teach your children those steps as well so that they will know what to expect from you. The steps to a proper correction and handling all out of control behaviors are in this book, Parenting a House United. Once you've taught your child how you will correct them, then you might need to teach them. Now, if you won't accept a correction, if you decide to continue being anxious, then this is what I will do to help. We will have this calm down process in place. You will want to find a calm down spot for the child so that they know that is their particular spot for getting calm. You will also want to teach them the words that you will say. There is a skill set called the Rule of 3 that we often use for children, and this is all children, whether they are an autistic child or not. We use these steps. So what I would recommend with a child with higher levels of anxiety is saying, okay, it seems like you might be out of instructional control. That's a term that we teach the children so they know what that means. That means they do not have right now the capacity to follow an instruction, or they are choosing not to. So then we say, so it seems like we need to get calm. So I need you to go to your calm place and let's start doing our deep breathing. Then after we take some deep breaths, I will begin the Rule of 3. Now, if the child will not go to the calm place or take the deep breaths, then you just begin the Rule of 3. So they know they are getting an extra chance at calmness before you start the Rule of 3. But once that Rule of 3 begins, then they will need to just go through that process and show that they can follow an instruction during that process. Some friends of mine who have 4 autistic children, who all process very uniquely, had some pretty severe behaviors some major tantrums. There was a time where I saw one of their children throw a tantrum for 30 minutes in a public place. And I know the family was thinking, probably, really? Is this going to be possible? But I'll tell you what, now when the child is starting to go out of control, as soon as the parents say, it looks like you're not calm, we need to start the rule of 3, that child who had that severe of a tendency to have tantrums and to go completely out of control will just take a breath and get calm. She's just ready now. And maybe she'll go through one cycle of the rule of 3. Because in the rule of 3, you do 3 things 3 times. So there's 3 cycles that you go through. She might go through one cycle, maybe earn 1 negative consequence sometimes. Most of the time not, they say now. But she doesn't ever go all the way to the end and have that full-blown tantrum anymore, because they have something to do. They have something to say. They have something they've prepared to stop her. They have a method for calmness. I have a calm help that I would like to share with you. It is my Calm Parenting Toolkit, and I think it's going to be a great start for you while you're learning about self-government. So on my website, teachingselfgovernment.com, there is a Calm Parenting Toolkit. If you go to the page teachselfgov.com/toolkit, you can get that Calm Parenting Toolkit for free. That is 10 lessons about calmness, all related to a different tool that you can use that will start you on the pathway to self-government and calmness for you and your children. This won't be the whole program. It's just a taste. It's just a start, but it will give you things you can start using today to help with calmness for you and your children. So click on that link in the description below this video now, and I'll see you there.